Hello my love, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. My name is Jess, and if you are an existing, long-lasting subscriber, I am sorry it's been a minute since you have heard from me, but I am back with a reignited sense of passion and purpose. And what I'm talking about today is something that I think is going to be genuinely helpful for so many people. And if you have found yourself here and you have read the title of this video, you will know we are talking about unsubscribing online and in real life. This has been something that I've been playing with myself because I was finding that I was invested and subscribed to habits, rituals, routines, drama, people, things that were not serving me. And when I say invested and subscribed felt like the right word because, when you're subscribed to someone's content, you are actively engaging with what they're sharing. You are invested in their life, in their world, in what they're talking about, and you, through that process, kind of adopt what they are thinking and feeling. And I was feeling that was happening both in the digital space for me and in my real life. I was noticing that the people that I was following on Instagram were having such an influence on how I was viewing myself, on how I was viewing my business, and how I was viewing the world. And a lot of them weren't actually true to my view of myself, my life, my business, or the world. So I had this moment of, okay, I need to go through and unsubscribe and unfollow a whole bunch of pages that at one point in time might have been really helpful and served me. But at this point and at this stage in my life, it's just not aligning anymore. And I actually recommend people do this often, like go through and unsubscribe from people that are no longer making me feel good or providing value or adding something to your life. If it's taking away from your life, if it's causing that kind of negative emotion, you have the power to let that go and control what you're seeing in your feeds and in your life. So I went through and I did that, and then afterwards I felt so much lighter. My feed was filled with beautiful, inspiring pages and people that really helped me to feel and embody the best version of myself, that motivated me to do the work that I'm here to do rather than made me feel guilty for when I was resting or made me feel like I was behind. But then even after that lightness happened, I felt this sense of there is something still heavy on me and there is something that I'm still too invested in my real life. And I realized that we can unsubscribe online, but we can also unsubscribe from things in our real life, digitally or physically in the physical world. And what I mean by that is you can have unfollow a page or a person on Instagram and be unsubscribed from their stuff, so to speak. But so often in real life, we are subscribed to people, to ideas, to beliefs, to habits that do not serve us and that actually make us feel either crappy, they make us feel like we're not succeeding and just feel like shit, basically. And no one wants that. But we kind of have this, and I can't speak for everyone, but I know I had this mentality of like, well, I can't really control that. But after doing my big detox on Instagram and unfollowing and unsubscribing, I realized I can actually unsubscribe from beliefs in my life. I can unsubscribe from certain dramas, certain pettiness in my real life, in my friendship groups, in my personal life. I can unsubscribe from that and just simply choose not to be invested in it. That might sound a little weird, but in my brain, it was like a flick of a switch that changed so much. And I honestly have been really loving this idea of looking at things that I'm interacting with and going, do I actually want to subscribe to that? For example, let's use a tangible example that might make a bit more sense. I was playing with the idea of content creation takes a lot of time and YouTube takes a lot of time and it's a lot of effort, it's a lot of energy. I had this belief. I also had this belief that I'm not good at talking to camera, that I talk better and am more articulate when I am just speaking without a camera. If you go back and listen to one of my most recent podcast episodes, you will probably hear me actually say that and say, I'm taking the podcast off of YouTube because I just can't do it. It's not what I want. And I realized I actually do really, really want to create content in this way. I want to be able to bring audio and visual because I'm passionate about serving as many people as possible. And I know that I like to view people's content and sometimes I like to listen to it. So I want to create what I want. But I had to, in order to do that, I had to unsubscribe from the narrative that it is hard to create content, that it is hard to create YouTube content, that speaking to camera isn't natural to me. I had to just simply unsubscribe, block, report, let go of that narrative. And here I am. If you're listening to this audio, I am speaking to camera on YouTube. If you're watching this, you're probably like, well, duh, you must have gotten over that. But it is really helpful, at least it's been helpful for me, and I hope it's been helpful and is helpful for you to realize that you have not only the power to control what you are consuming in the digital space, in social media, but you also have power to control what you are consuming, what thoughts you are, subscribed to in your day-to-day life. And when you give yourself that power, it is, for lack of a better word, empowering. We place so much power often on external sources. Like, you hear people say, and I've said this myself, like Instagram is such a negative space, or there's so much toxic behavior online and it's really hard. But if you're viewing the negativity, often it is because you're subscribed to things that are negative and toxic. I know for me, if I click on a post that is like a gossip thing, which I'm not opposed to, I love Real Housewives, I love a bit of gossip, but let's just say I was trying to cut Hollywood gossip out. Me clicking on a Hollywood gossip post, that's going to give me more Hollywood gossip posts. And that's where it starts to feel like it's out of control because you're like, oh, it's just being recommended to me. It's just coming and being fed to me. But your engagement and your behavior is actually impacting what is being given to you. And the same thing goes for outside of your digital space. If you no longer tolerate certain behavior, certain treatment, if you no longer allow yourself to be in certain environments or have a certain habit or whatever, that is the standard you are setting for yourself. And therefore, nothing less than that is acceptable. And people are going to either meet you at that level, or you're going to let go of connections, of rituals, of habits, of whatever that is no longer meeting that standard and supporting that standard. So I hope that makes sense. And I hope this inspires you to go through your Instagram, go through your YouTube and unsubscribe to the channels, the people that no longer serve you. It doesn't have to be a negative, heavy thing. I know for me, sometimes I'm unfollowing people that I've followed for a very long time and I almost feel guilty and I feel like it would be negative and hurt their feelings. But at the end of the day, one, they're probably not even aware. Second, it's really not about that. You've got to do what's best for you, and you've got to trust that that person deserves to have people viewing their content that actually genuinely are resonating, and not to have people that are not feeling good from it. I'm sure they wouldn't want you to be doing that. And if they do, then that's an even better reason to unsubscribe from them, because no one should have that intention. But it's the same thing with, letting go of certain connections in your life. If you're unhappy in it, odds are the other person is unhappy in it, or they simply just deserve to be around someone who is happy in that connection. So let them go. Let them go with love. It doesn't have to be like a thing. Please don't message people and tell them why you're unfollowing them. You can definitely have conversations in your real life about why maybe you need to distance. I just think it's unnecessary to be like, hi, I'm unfollowing you because of this. Just let it go. Let it go. Let it be. And unsubscribe online and in life. And I believe this is the way that we can really make space to create digital and physical experiences and world, so to speak, that really nurture us and hold space for us to be the best version of ourselves. I don't know if that last sentence made any sense whatsoever, but this has just been something I've wanted to come on and talk about and riff on. I feel like I'm going to have a more formulated idea on what I want to say in this particular kind of arena of controlling and having the power over what you consume, especially in the digital space, because it is so important that we are consuming content that uplifts us and doesn't, cause you to have really toxic thoughts about yourself or other people. And I will bring that to you once I have fully sat with this. I might even write a little script next time so I have certain points covered. But if you know me, I just love a riff, a chat, just super casual, and I hope that's your vibe too. If it is your vibe, you're going to love this space, so please stick around and subscribe to this channel, subscribe to this podcast. I look forward to talking with you more soon. I have some amazing content lined up coming out about how you can really curate your digital space to be the most beautiful, functioning, what's the word? E. It starts with an E. Efficient. And the beautiful, efficient, functioning space that allows you to live the life that you want to live and allows you to feel the way you want to feel, and it motivates you to show up and all the things. So without further ado, let me leave and go because I am just rambling at this point. But I hope this has been helpful. I really would appreciate your feedback. Let me know what you thought, and if this is something you've already thought about and already kind of taken on board. If for nothing else, I hope you take away from this just to simply unfollow, unsubscribe from things that do not make you feel good, whether it is on Instagram, YouTube, or from your own damn life. This has been lovely. I will see you next time.